Hi everyone, today is the 14th of September 2025. This video clip is part 5 from part 1, 2 and 3 and 4 for the court case against Independent Police Code of Conduct on Monday the 8th of September 2025. So the last episode I basically said that what's happened to me, it's actually a conspiracy to commit murder, but there's several incidents that has occurred in my personal profile. Okay, so what I will be doing on this video clip, I'm going to go over the Plaintiffs Synopsis, and so the next video clip I will do a summary judgment to enter judgment of liability. I feel in my heart that this is the way I should go with my court case, putting out the evidence, because globally, this has been going on for me since 2010 and so forth. That's quite evidential globally. So meaning it doesn't matter how private I am, I'm wasting my time because the decisions made about me goes to a coalition, okay, and they're using substitutes, and then they're deciding who should win, the substitute or me. The game entails whoever gets the guy or the girl, they get it all, okay, so it's money laundering. But this has got nothing to do with money. As far as I'm concerned, I'm dealing with my personal property. It's a very serious criminal case. So stay tuned. I'm just doing this clip because I'm going to put it in the evidence so everyone can see this is the real me today. This is what I look like. So some days I don't look good because I don't put on my makeup or stuff. I don't actually wear that much makeup, but for this video I tried to put in a little bit of effort. But anyway, today's video clip is going to be for the synopsis argument. Okay, so we've had the synopsis opening. So basically I'm going to show you the process and the procedure in a scandalous court.
Hi everyone, welcome to Authentic Ingenuity Entrepreneur. My name is Mina. That was just me on the video clip, just for this clip, just so you can all see what I look like today. So my video clip today is about the synopsis. I'm putting in my hardcore evidence. I've been kind of like deciding, which way am I going to go with this case? But because it doesn't matter how private I am, I told the judge my set of circumstances is a crisis. So quite evidently, there's sufficient evidence to prove that they're going to eliminate me. That is why I can now prove in the court of law, according to the laws and what has happened to me historically, it's a conspiracy to commit murder case. Okay, so according to them, I'm dead. Okay, they've treated me like I'm dead. I'm a robot or whatever they want to call it. The thing is, they are stealing anything monetary, my intellectual property, and if I wasn't doing this, because I know they've also been deleting my personal property, which is my profile, deleting evidence as they go. So meaning if I get murdered, when, I could disappear from the face of the earth. I knew this, okay? I knew all about human trafficking. I knew everything criminal. My experience and my gifts that I obtained, by faith, and that over the years have helped me to make the right decisions. And today there is sufficient evidence to prove everything. And because the system has changed so much, I felt that I should also go over the laws for those that don't know how much the laws have changed, because it's changed really bad. But the system is actually set out to dehumanize people like what they've done to me. It is a money laundering system and using somebody like a generator, okay? The substitute, they're used by different agencies. It's the only way that they can get their foot in the door, basically. But yes, it's been hell on earth, to be totally honest, with what they've put me through. personally. So, but I'm healing every day, every year, every month. I'm healing. Some months are worse than others, but they are definitely interfering in my set of circumstances to keep me pinned down. They've gone and destroyed all my relationship. The personal attachment is illegal. The personal, intimate, everything is illegal. Okay, it's illegal. So what I'm going to do is just start with a quick introduction, and then I'll go straight on to the evidence for the synopsis and also the court protocol system involving my case. Okay, so just bear in mind to these people, I'm dead, okay? That is why everything is intentional. The offences are intentional. Sorry, I'm just trying to sort out my camera here. Everything is intentional. The sabotage is intentional. My environment, they are glued to somebody in my environment, linking to the negative conspiracy alliance, okay, linking to the relationship. The court case is the same. I felt that when I was in the court. I felt that the prosecutor there was on the lady linking to Henry Cavill, but Henry Cavill knows very well what I'm like, but to me it's insulting what they're doing, okay? It's like I'm not allowed to have any privacy. I'm not allowed to have, they've done this with all my other relationships. There's clear case of that, okay? So that's illegal on its own because I have not consented to it. But these people have used me for a foot in the door. They've used me for a foot in the door of everything. They're stealing my applications and then making it theirs. They're stealing my ideas. And then, then everyone else is lying to me. But this is the best picture I can actually explain to them. I'm a zombie. I'm dead. They make their threats to let me know I'm next, I'm going to die. All I can say is bring it on. I've survived this long. It's a miracle that I'm even doing this today, but I do not fear the enemy. I do not fear the devil. I think you're a coward. It's illegal what you're doing to innocent civilians. It's a money laundering system of the rich, okay, but we're talking about a global game here. I know some cultures can't stand strong women, okay? I'm not speaking for all of them. I don't like anything abuse. I don't like psychological abuse. I don't like mental abuse. I don't like physical abuse. I'm not an abusive person. But if I have reacted, it's because of I'm being provoked. There's a difference. I'm a aggrieved victim. I'm being provoked. In the moment, I'm being provoked by the people responsible for what I've gone through. It's an alliance, okay? And they've put me through so much. Money couldn't even compensate what I've been through. But I do know I'm a miracle. I do know I'm within my rightful space to stand up against it and own my life back. Okay? Own everything back that's mine. Doesn't belong to anyone else. Okay? So, and only that, that's why I have been contesting the unlawful judgments, because it's defamation. Okay, the things that they've written about me is not true, but it's all just a big cover up. Okay, so I will just continue with the evidence. Okay, so we're going to focus on the synopsis today. Okay, this is the synopsis argument. From my point of view, I thought that the court case was going to go the way it should be, the plaintiff first. But every single court case, the Crown has cheated and has conspired to break the court rules and protocols so they can go first with the help of the courts. That's not fair. Okay, but anyway, what can I do but just go with it? Okay, I am definitely a lockout situation, and according to the laws, the plaintiff always goes first because they're the plaintiff. They're a plaintiff for a reason. They're the ones, they are alleging that the defendant has broken laws. Okay, and now I can prove that globally, and I've had to do this globally to save my own life, to save my own family. I think if I could turn back the clock, if I was able to, I would actually be doing this, because then I know other people will have a chance to save themselves and would be alive today. Because we're talking about an indirect conspiracy, a left behind case, and the people at fault are those in public office going back 2010. I didn't know that the game was global, of course, but now everything I've gone through, I've come out of it, and I can actually confirm it's been a global game of a real life game, a real life game, but it is actually a conspiracy. It's an indirect conspiracy. The trickery is that after they study the originals, they glue them. Like, I'm saying that, my family may also be glued to somebody else like me, okay? So, but I just knew it was radically wrong. I was subject to something radically wrong, but because I was so private, honestly, I couldn't put my finger on it. And then incidents happened, the car accident happened, the bullying at work, the stalking, the harassment happened. And I was like, what is going on here? But anyway, all I did was do my best, making the decisions in the moment. So really, why I'm also doing this, I feel this is also to give other people the opportunity to have an awareness. What is trafficking in persons? I'm a private person, okay? I don't like people in my space. I don't like anything being forced on me. I'm very straightforward. I'm a forward person and I'm an honest person. But I'm very self-controlled. I'm not an abusive person. By nature. If I've reacted, I'm triggered by the abuse, by the psychological abuse, by the public scrutiny. Psychologically, the things that they've said about me is gross. It's gross, all right? It's gross. And I found it really insulting. But, this is my journey. I believe for me, God wanted me to witness all this because, I'm just a survivor of an illegal system. So this is the plaintiff synopsis, as you can see, with evidence. I actually read this female here, who everyone calls her Patty. Okay, I have actually spoken to one of the team leaders, like her administration. I mean, it's confusing. There's no, like, I don't know. I don't know whether she's new. I'm not making any excuses. I don't care. It's got nothing to do with me. But I know I have a very strong case against the Ministry of Justice for the way they've handled my case. Okay, so I sent a synopsis to this female here. She's meant to be the case officer. Some of my emails, you can see that I've added in her team leader and another team leader because she wasn't responding. She was hanging up, and, I just want an answer and then just get on with it. But they have made things living hell for me. They've literally locked me out, blocked me out, lied to me, given me misinformation to make life a living hell for me. And that's how it's been, causing stress on me, okay? So I will carry on. So at the hearing on the 8th, I thought that's I was going to do my synopsis and do my summary judgment to enter the summary judgment, but they didn't. That's not what happened. I went in there and they told me otherwise. And I wasn't happy, but I thought, just stay calm. But I was expecting something negative, because there's a clear case of a negative thing. As soon as something's going good for me, they steal it. Okay, they steal it, and they think it's funny. It's really evil. That's all I can say. It's really, really evil. Shame on them. So what I'm going to just go over. So anyway, she sent out these documentation. This is what caused confusion with me. Like, okay, Karen Ferris has abandoned the case, but then this case officer sends out some information to me to let me know about the files that's been filed. Okay, a list of files registered at with the court for the case for IPCA. So I had a look at it and I was like, okay. She didn't have, let's see. This is really serious, okay? They've taken away the criminal jurisdiction and turned the civil to put everybody through hell. That is what they're using the civil system for. And some of the judgments I've actually read, I can actually tell that some of the people that put in their complaints are actually criminal cases that don't even belong in civil. So I just put you that you will go through, okay? So she's written all this here, and then I noticed that there were some documents of mine not even mentioned in there. The document in regards to me sending to the court to ask the court about, to confirm who is the new counsel, right? This is not in here. My enter summary judgment is not in here. And my synopsis is not in here. So it's quite clear she's drafted up a document without all the other documents. She is supposed to be the case officer. I've been sending stuff to her. Yes, maybe the odd time I've sent stuff to a case officer before her, because people at the counter would tell me, oh, the case officer is this, and then I find out later the case officer is somebody else. So they're playing games with my liberty, okay? Also, according to the law, the Ministry of Justice are also perverting the course of justice. What they're doing to me, okay, making things hell for me. They're perverting the course of justice. They're impeding rescue. All those offences apply in my case, okay? It's also crimes against humanity. So yes, it is a conspiracy to eliminate somebody. But, they're causing me so much stress. And yes, I've heard the saying, you die trying. And yes, their motive and intent is to kill you. Their motive and intent is to make the person either die of a heart attack, they know about my health, or for you to cause so much stress, you want to give up and blame yourself for everything, but you don't know you're locked out, block out. Yes, you can die with because the stress is that stressful, can cause a heart attack. It's stressful. You're doing what's your right, only for the courts to write unlawful judgment. It's intentional. Everything's intentional. The intimacy is intentional. They're making it their business to keep somebody down, taking away their happiness, destroying all their good relationships, stop them from advancing. That is the devil. That is what you call bad faith. So just read your circumstances correctly. But because of my knowledge and belief, things I've been through, I'm not cursed. You guys are just breaking the law. So I've made it my business to fight back that evil force regardless. But it's pride, really. We're dealing with pride. We're dealing about, they think I'm being proudful, but I don't know anyone who makes a career of suffering. What I'm proving to you all is a corrupt system, okay? Corruption. So this is her documentation. This is another reason I was like, well, she's just confirming that Karen Ferris is still the crown, even after all our emails we had together. That the court, I've said the court needs to confirm who is the counsel. I'm the other party, but they're confusing me. And then they said I had to pay $8,000 for a court case if I wanted it to go on for 4 days. It was set down for 4 days. I was going to pay for it, but then, like I said, they're into all my finances historically, and that can be proven going back to IPCA. Easy peasy, okay? I've just got to prove that. So, let's see. I think. Okay, so she actually sent out this email with a list of stuff that she said I didn't do. Okay, so I actually put in a waiver fee because, what happened to me, they were sabotaging everything I was doing. Everything's intentional, guys. Everything is intentional. So it's quite clear that they're intimately into everything. and I'm the opponent. So they changed the hearing to a half a day hearing for an interlocutory hearing day. So obviously I put in my interlocutory hearing, so I'm assuming, okay, it's mine. But she has set the judge up. Okay, she has actually set the judge up to make the judge believe that it's Karen Ferris's case, and that, I mean, they're doing their own thing, okay? And that the case was actually to strike out. So she's actually ignored everything to do with me when it's my case. And the evidence clearly shows that. Okay, so she sent me this email here, all right, on this day. What day was it? 27th. To let me know that I have not filed this, I have not filed that, I have not filed that, So this is the information she's giving to the judge. I assume that is what she's going by, the new judge. I've asked her several times to let me know who is the new judge. I didn't know about the new judge until about a few days before the hearing, or just less than a week before the hearing, because I'd put in many memorandums to the Judge Sussex to, I need the, that I actually need the, a transcript, so then the judge can actually listen to it, because I didn't agree with the judgment, because I was, I've got stuff in criminal, but they are intimately glued to me. The women linked to these women overseas, but these women are being controlled by other agents, or they call themselves hosts. Some of the singers, some of the pop singers, they're making songs on them. So it's the rich man's game, playing with innocent civilian. I'm not playing the game. I'm forced to play what I'm doing. I'm forced to do it because I'm trying to get out of this, and this is the only way, is to clear everything legally for me. But in saying that, even if I wasn't doing that, I can't advance. I've lost everything, and they have not stopped making things difficult for me. So this is my synopsis. All right, I gave it to the judge, so I get some good tips. But this here, I made a decision to put my synopsis basically concentrating on the evidence. Gosh, sorry guys, I'm just having technical issues here. Okay, so this here is the letter of evidence that the counsel, Sean McCusker, did his statement of defense, and he admitted to it, dated July the 10th. Okay, so this is the letter. He did his statement of defense, and the statement of claim he went through. Okay, so this is the only evidence really, other than all the other documents in there. So the summary to enter summary judgment application, the interlocutory, basically is focusing on the evidence that was submitted to IPCA. IPCA got the same evidence and documentations like PSA, Ministry of Justice, at that point of time in 2010. Okay. And so New Zealand Police and IPCA, but I've got all the documents, everything they've already shown, like all the letters here. This is my letter of complaint to them. All right, and I've exhibited it, meaning everything I've written is true. But you can just tell by my letter that I'm under personal attack. It's called. Let me have a look. I'm annoyed. Sorry, I just realized I have to go over this part again. Just this part here where they, this is the letter that I submitted with the complaint. Okay. And this is, and then the Crown IPCA responded in that. All right. So this here was my letter I described the environment, okay, and all I have found is the police at that point of time thought I was just a joke, and even one of the letters he wrote, it was quite, everything's intentional. They had no intention in helping me. And I even had names of people who I was talking to. Nothing has changed. Nothing has changed since then, since to now. Okay, so people, the public, the global, the game, people are doing acts of terrorism. Everyone is personally attacking me. Okay, and stealing. Okay, so because it's global, and also the relationship scam. I was denouncing Amy Denton. She's been linked to this, and Henry doesn't even know her. But all these agencies and the police are on her side. Okay, so that's why I've had to denounce it, because that's wrong. And it's global. And they're all ganging up on one person. They're in my space. So this here was letter. You can see I've removed the Inland Revenue document. I made complaints to other agencies. It's a clear case that somebody had retrieved. I complained in my complaints. I talked about, they've got my bank accounts, and people are retrieving. But before I went through this personal attack, before I went through that, because I'm an independent single mother, okay, I've home managed 3 kids by myself, okay, so, and I'm very private, very busy, mind my own business. But when it comes to, with the banks and stuff, or when I know somebody's lying to me, it's so easy for me to understand and realize I'm being attacked. The phone calls, the hub desk, people I'm talking to is an imposter. I know the difference. Okay? Oh, sorry about that. I hope you can see that. I'm just having a bit of I'll just go through that. Hope you can see all that. Everyone's using me like a generator. They're stealing my energy. And it's frustrating. All right. I had names of people in the workplace, and guess what? They've had people in the workplace that I've complained about in my space. So yeah, I talked to you about privacy. All this is an exhibit. I said to the judge, I know what serious fraud, is. I know I've handled cases, with murder cases, sexual violation cases, and all these cases, most of the evidence is all in documentation. So I know exactly what I'm doing, and this is sufficient enough to prosecute people. It's just a matter of having the right people take over their case. Okay, this here is the actual synopsis, okay, the plaintiff synopsis that they got, and my impression was that I don't know whether the judge even read it. I don't know, okay. But this here is my synopsis, and I feel that they're rejecting me. It's really disrespectful what they're doing to me. It's consistent to how I was treated while I was working for the Ministry of Justice. What they put me through during those working hours was inhumane. Was just inhumane. So this here is my actual synopsis. I was going to read and refer the judge to. Okay, so you can read it for yourself. I won't read it all, but basically I'm letting the judge know, because it's a criminal case and I'm dealing with a civil case. Okay, the judge should have actually shouldn't even be in civil. They know that, but they're helping each other. Okay, so the misconduct that constitute an offence. I've basically did my research and all the laws that is appropriate for my case, or that is actually applicable. So basically, I'm putting in writing and letting the judge know what IPCA did wrong. Okay. So the New Zealand Police and Independent Police Conduct Authority both refused and failed on demand to provide any other person with goods and facilitates and services. Okay, so they're a body corporate according to the law. Instead, both of them treated the complainant less favourable by intentional discrimination or without lawful excuse neglects their duty to perform legal obligations to the complainant. That is classified in the legislation as the victim or a vulnerable adult. Okay, their job is to protect innocent civilians, not bloody play games. And they've played games with my life, so I don't care. I don't care whatever happened back then. Some people have this thing in their mind. They use people's beliefs and they think they should just forgive and forget. Yes, you do forgive and forget, but this is still wrong. I don't believe, somebody's decision back then has caused serious conspiracy, home invasion, linking to the church, linking to work, and I was scared as hell, but I didn't know what to do but just go through it. I had to break up my family. I told that to the judge. At that point in time, I had to kind of go back to the crime scene. I had 3 young children. Well, one was adult. That was 2010. And then I had two teenagers, and I had to split them up. But during this time, before I this is even before I submitted this application, going back to the crime scene, according to the law, I am the victim. I am a vulnerable adult. And even if I work for the government, I'm still a vulnerable adult. And they thought, okay, they knew I put in all this complaints, and they thought maybe just having the surveillance and I don't know what they want to call it. But in between everything, I knew people were trying to kill me and making things difficult for me. They were, my work environment was dangerous. They were making threats like putting out rubbish bags or, that indicating death. So if you say anything, read it correctly. You're not safe. You shouldn't accept it. According to the law, that's emotional blackmail. That's 10 years imprisonment. No one should be psychologically threatening to kill your family or threatening to kill anybody. That's psychological. Indirect offences is equivalent as if it was direct. Okay? So it's the same thing. But they made me live and work under that kind of condition. And I was having problems with the stalking with the car. I'm telling you, they were glued to me. They were cleaved to everything I was doing. That's the reason why I'm where I am historically. So this here is what I wrote in my synopsis. And you can tell straight away that the Crown would have lost. They would have just read, the judge would just read all these details and you can just tell they've lost. But nah, pride, okay? So here it goes. I put down, as you can see, I've put everything. My English is very good. I am very well knowledgeable. There's nothing wrong with me mentally. No, they used the Mental Health Act on me. That was a setup. It was part of the game to destroy me, and so nobody will believe, so they can eventually eliminate me forever while they do whatever they're doing, okay? So this here is what you're witnessing. So I've written here, okay, Both body corporate treated the complainant less favourable by intentional discrimination or without lawful excuse neglects their duty to perform legal obligations to the complainant. Okay, I'm the complainant that is classified in the legislation as the victim or the vulnerable adult. Both ministries recklessly and intentionally knows that the victim is at risk. Okay, I can prove that after the fact. They know. I mean, you got to be intelligent. You got to be able to read to even read complaints. So you can just tell by reading the complaints that the complaint is serious wrongdoing. So I don't know what role this person is, but that person perverted the course of justice. So you can just see how good my English is, okay? So both ministries recklessly and intentionally knows that the victim is at risk of an unlawful act by another person may occur, fail to take responsibility steps to protect the victim at risk. Reference, and then I referred the judge, okay? That's why we have laws, and this is quite evidential that the laws is actually set out to protect individuals. Even though body corporates are a body corporate, they are judged like individuals when it comes to crimes. Okay, so they declined. And I can just tell from the way that the language that these judges use, some of the judges use, and the language that some of the police have used and stuff like that, the language itself, their personality itself, you can just tell that it's just not right. It's not a mature person. Okay, it's not a mature person. It's somebody who just thinks it's a joke. I think you're in the wrong occupation if that's your attitude. Because we're talking about people's liberty here, and they've taken mine and they've made me suffer all these years. So K. Ivan for Independent Police Conduct Authority, it's letter dated 23rd of June 2010, admits and acknowledges of the plaintiff's complaint. And so he's admitted it. He's seen the bundles of complaint. He's admitted the car accident. There was sufficient evidence to initiate an investigation and then do something about getting me out of there. Or, but they left me in there. Everyone left me in there. So this is what's actually happening with this system. Honest people are actually putting in complaints, and then when they do their investigation, is like, oh my gosh. And instead of doing the right thing, they've done what they've done to me. And then when the person complains and take it legal, then they know they're in real big trouble. So I won't read it all, but I'll just go over, just let you have a read of my synopsis. Okay, I basically covered everything according legally, but this is what I'm basically, just from that letter and the case historically, plus we're dealing with a person's property. We're dealing with my existence. I know that they've deleted some. Okay, they know they've deleted some. Everyone knows. So of course everyone's like, oh no. So for them it's easier to ignore and wait for somebody to kill me. Okay, so pleadings and causes of action. You guys can read that. So I basically identified and broke down the first cause of action, that this person, even though it was documentation, K. Ivan for Independent Police Conduct Authority is a member in authority for IPCA. See, the other thing is, keep in mind, civil judges do not have the same mindset or is trained, or their qualifications do not encompass the criminal jurisdiction. So for them to read something like this is no big deal. You give it to a criminal judge, they won't waste their time. Okay, they wouldn't, because they know that they have to. That's serious. They think like I think. That's why I'm the aggrieved victim because even though I know I'm strong, what they're doing to me is so wrong. They've caused me so much grief, so much division. It's affected my family. You know, I've had some family member not believe me because, you know, of this game. They've caused havoc, okay? And yes, they should be sued. Well, if I had a choice, I'd get pleasure or actually pressing criminal charges. It doesn't matter if these people are dead. And if they're still alive, they can still be brought to court for all these charges. So I basically just broke down all the cause of action, okay? Keeping in mind, guys, the victim always overrides the defendant. Okay, the defendant never gets first priority ever, crown or no crown. So I broke down all this. I've had to put in the defendant had an obligation to act immediately, okay, in regards to the investigation of the aggrieved victim's complaint. I'm the aggrieved victim according to the law, okay. You know, that this game is so evil that these people know that I'm the aggrieved victim, so they are purposely hurting me. I mean, I don't know anything more evil than that. It's, you know, that's just evil. That's just wicked. It's evil. Then the complainant's complaint articulates information of a hostile and unsafe working and public environment. Okay, so even a high school kid could see this. You know, my letters of complaint clearly indicates that I'm in a dangerous environment. And I was the vulnerable. I was a single mum with 3 young children. Okay, but they've made me live in zombie land for a long time. So everything's intentional. So IPCA intentionally engages in conducts that or omits to discharge or perform any legal duty, the omission of which is likely to cause suffering. So these are the things that have put me through: suffering, injury, adverse effects to health, or the cause of any mental injury. All this has happened, you name it. But you know, they don't, you know, I don't know what you want to even call it. You can't justify what they did. Okay, it's just so wrong. So I just broke down everything with the short time that I had, and the judge said that she was going to read all the other stuff because they wouldn't let me go on. I had very limited time to cover my synopsis in my case. So I just had that feeling that, you know, it was going to go against me. So I just basically have broken down all the causes of action, that what they did, okay, and they have. The New Zealand Police has impeded rescue, so has, you know, they both did. So I broke down the cause of action with New Zealand Police at the same time. It's a very serious case, very serious, appalling, shameful, and they want to save the reputations of people who've broken the law. Okay, so I enjoy reading. If you're into law, this is very educational for you. So put the plaintiff's claim in misfaciousness for damages to her personal property. Okay. I even told the judge that I actually have, you know, criminal stuff in the criminal jurisdiction, and I'm the prosecutor. I'm doing everything by myself. Everything. How inhumane is that? How can you even think about getting rich on somebody else's liberties, trying so hard to get out of it, only for other people to take turns to steal for money laundering purposes? And for those that don't know, but to do video clips on YouTube, the revenue itself is worth loads and loads and loads and loads of money. So I don't know, something the government needs to like investigate, because I believe people are getting murdered for these video clips too. Because you know that's forever money in those revenue. I'm not making any money out of what I'm doing, because I don't. For me, I'm just doing this because I feel I've got to, because I need public intervention. It's you know, it's a real life case of corruption, human trafficking. So the plaintiff's claim is in misfaciousness for damages for pecuniary loss suffered as a result of humiliation, loss, indignity, and injured feelings of the aggrieved individual. I'm telling you, the Crown would not have won this case, or any cases of mine, if it went before a criminal judge, because a criminal judge will not even play around with it. But now everyone can get see the hardcore evidence, and as you can see, I'm very competent. Okay, I'm working day and night. There are other times I've made confused things when I've sent emails out, but that's because I'm doing things day and night, literally day and night, just to fight for my liberty. Okay. But I have found that they pick on every single mistake I do. They're picking on every single flaw, and then they're gloating and, just defaming me publicly, secretly, indirectly. I mean, grow up. Like, literally. What are you teaching your own children or your grandchildren? Shame on you. But a lot of people have opposed me because they're racist anyway. I'm talking about the extremists, okay? And they've turned my game into like a government game to cover up years of perjury, years of very serious slave-like crimes on a person, and they know it. Or it's somebody that they're related to, it's their family member, but I have family too. I have, you've ruined my life to do what you're doing, okay? And I'm within my right for my own justice. Okay, so you can all read the evidence. The New Zealand Police and Independent Police Conduct Authority in bad faith, refused to investigate her complaints. The negligent has put the plaintiff in serious set of circumstances over the years. Her personal property involving factual facts of her existence with all other body corporates is damaged. So everybody is coexist in using someone for a game. Okay, the government and the public are using her like a generator for money laundering and relationship scams since she lost her privacy. The plaintiff has made application titled Plaintiffs to enter interlocutory application, which is this one, and then in exhibits, affidavits, and so I'm just basically just going over in response to the Crown's documentation. Hey, yeah, I think that's it, guys. All right. So that is my synopsis for this video. The next one I will go over the summary to enter a summary judgment, but you can just see there's nothing wrong with me intellectually. But it is serious what they've done to me. I don't even take it as a joke. Okay? And these judgments they're making against people's name, they're forever. So that's why I thought my YouTube channel is forever. And this is my evidence forever. But I'm just going to go with it. and I'll keep you updated. Okay, so just keep in mind, to them, I'm dead. Okay, so if victims have gone through what I've gone through, they'll go through exactly the same. The evidence, the scary thing is if they delete evidence, it's hard to find out, point the finger who's behind it. But the whole game is the person is pinned down after being studied by whoever is using them for an illegal scientific experiment. So they always got a foot in the door by using substitute. They're using different people all the time. So I'm pinned down always with the negative alliances people. They're shifting, that they're just coding globally, and everyone is moved by the coding. So basically, they're stealing somebody's energy, their resources, everything. Okay, this is after years of others already stealing. Okay, so they've just taken turns. So definitely I'm on a blacklisted system, and I can actually prove that in the criminal jurisdiction who are actually doing the blacklisting. The legislation is also changed to cater for blacklisting. Okay, it's catered that I will disappear from the face of the earth like I never existed. But they've stolen my energy, everything about me, my good fruits, giving it to somebody else, or other people are actually benefiting from it. But I can confirm it is suicidal pact. Okay, it is conspiracy to commit murder and every other culpable offences. And I have to say Henry has gone through the same thing, but a separate set of circumstances. Okay, we're so opposite, but yet we're so compatible in our situation, in our circumstances, different worlds, but completely the same thing. We've actually gone through just different set of circumstances, and we're actually very similar in personality, very, very similar. So I believe that, him coming in my life was meant to be, because God revealed so much, and I've learned so much in the relationship. Okay. So the reason why it is a felony, because that's why I put in a protected, a summary judgment to enter a summary judgment. It's because a felony. Lots of people in my case, in my personal life, have committed serious crimes punishable by sentence, such as imprisonment or even death. Okay? That's how serious it is. And that's where the summary judgment to enter comes in, where the judge has that authority. If I can convince the judge and prove the judge that my evidence is credibility over the Crown, okay, that is when I'm able to sue them and win my case. And I did say to the judge, that if this case went to the criminal jurisdiction, okay, they will get charged for everything, even more than what I've mentioned. They will get charged. So when a person gets charged, it doesn't matter if they've changed, names of their company or whatever. That does not come. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter at all. If the Crown can find sufficient evidence, they will get charged for every single charge, whatever it is, and they will be strict. Strict charges, obviously, to the full extent of the law. Then they will get fined. They will get fined for every single charge. They can get fined $10 million for every charge because of the seriousness of it, depending how the judge feels. I'm not joking, okay? And then they have to do reparation on top of that. So basically, they'll be forced to change, and then for the sake of the public, because whatever they're doing is not working. But that's why a summary judgment is in order for cases like mine, because a felony has had, corruption, perjury has been committed by those in public office, so it's automatic fine. So the relationship game is like this. It was like this with me and Pastor King going back when I was at church. And it was like this with Rob. It kind of COVID hit and things change. And then it's like this with me and Henry Cavill. His situation has been dire straight, but he's doing really well today. But we're both in a concealed situation, and then everyone else outside are the people in our space conspiring, and playing this global game. Okay, so I'm going to finish it there. At this point of time, this case is in the civil jurisdiction, and the next one I will go over the summary judgment to enter judgment of liability, but you can see common sense. Okay, but this game I have found, it is so inhumane. Everything is a joke. It's reliant on defamation. They're actually relying on people believing lies. Okay, so it doesn't help with the unlawful strikes, but I already showed to the court, to the judge, the laws that actually confirms that now the body corporates involving, it's a conspiracy. Let's just go into the law to go over that. All right, so according to the law, the unlawful strikes, the documentations submitted to court by the Crown, they're false statements and declarations, okay? They're false. And so are the unlawful strikes, the judgments. I've noticed that some of the judges won't even sign it. I wouldn't sign it if that person is innocent, especially sitting in court and listening to everything and it's true, and you're too scared to sign it because the coalition chooses that Crown to win, or the defendant to win. I wouldn't sign it. I wouldn't even have a part of it. That is not what the court is for. Okay, so the unlawful strikes are actually false statements. Okay, so everything they've written and said about me is false. Comes under the Crimes Act, perjury, false oath. So if they've put oaths on something, it's false. There's perjury, false statement, okay? It's also fabricating evidence, okay? So what Natalie Vasquiso was doing, trying to convince everyone that Henry is with her and Henry's playing happy family, it's not even true. That's fabricating evidence, okay? And he's not even with her. There's nothing there for him, and he has no intentions of going backwards. But all the public, indirect, videos trying to convince the public of a lie, it's a lie. So you either believe them or you believe me. That's why I've been denouncing it, because their lies are putting somebody's life at risk. Okay, conspiracies like what I'm going through, it puts the original's life at risk. If you don't fight back, they will kill you. That's what happened there. Their idea is to steal everything from the victims, and they could end up homeless or, or dead. Yeah, so there's several sequences or incidents involving conspiracy to murder, because keep in mind, I've allegedly said that they poisoned me while I was at work in 2010, okay? The car accident was intentional to maim me, so they did maim me. There's clear evidence that I've been used as a targeted object, okay? So every single law in the legislation is broken. So going back to 2010, I'm classified as the vulnerable adult, the victim. Okay, you are a vulnerable adult. Even if you're working for your occupation and you mind your own business, you're just there just to do your job and then leave, you are still classified as the vulnerable adult. That is what the police is for. That is what, all these people in authority is for, is to protect the vulnerable adult, not sit behind their keyboard and play God and think they have the right to do what they're doing, because they don't. Okay, so that is what I am classified according to the legislation as the victim. I am definitely the victim at risk. I was in high risk set of circumstances, even though I was, you can tell for those that knew me personally, I'm not the type of person who wear her emotions on her sleeve. I'm very professional. I don't let anybody know how I'm feeling unless I let you know, which is very rare, and I only would let them know, you know, like if I'm having a bad day or feeling only, you know, I'm very selective who I have in my space, because that's the type of person I am, and I'm still like that. There's one that I'm trying to find. It's called Conspiracy to Bring False Evidence, Fabricated Evidence. It is. My case, everything they've done, like all the legal documents they've done on me, that law comes in. Okay, guys, I'm gonna leave it there. But yes, my case, definitely everything, all the judgments said about me and everything, even my the evidence in regards to my medical records, it's all fabricated evidence. So according to the law, that's why I asked for a summary judgment to be entered, because my evidence is just too strong. It's past the threshold of seriousness. Okay, so what it actually means, fabricated evidence in law, it's mean people have actually committed the means of perjury. Okay, so I will leave it at that with this video clip. Sorry I've gone on too long, but you'll find this video clip very informative. It is also an exhibit for my court case, criminal case. It's not even civil. So thanks for watching, you guys, and I'll see you in the next clip.